Hey guys, this is a Swamp Cleaner back with another video for you. Now this subject is going to be a controversial one and it is pretty big, so I've got myself a bunch of screenshots. I got an article or two to add to the information because this topic today, if you didn't already guess, is about China and what's going on in Hong Kong and what's also going on right now when it comes to American businesses um, deciding whether or not they'd like to stand by their principles or take that sweet, sweet communist cash. And I thought that, I'd like to wear my anti fascist, anti communist t shirt today because, you know what? Authoritarianism in all shapes and forms is horrible. So, yes, today we are talking about the communist hellhole. Well, whew, if this was in China, I would have to say the great glorious country of China. Now, I can't rag on the Chinese people themselves because I'd have to say that I'd bet to say that a good portion of them don't like the communists and how they run the place. So it's actually the Chinese government and the authoritarian scumbags that we need to focus on. So it's not the Chinese people, it's the Chinese government. It's two different things. But what is sickening is how you can see companies like the NBA, Blizzard, Vans, etc., bend the knee to communist censorship because they just want that green money. And it all started, it's almost like a perfect storm. It all started with an episode of South Park last Wednesday where the main theme was companies are so hungry for that money that they are willing to censor or change viewpoints and also advertise heavily in China. It's a subversion of especially if you're an American company, it's a subversion of a lot of our freedoms and rights just to make a quick dollar, and that is slimy. That is actually very slimy, in my opinion. And a lot of other people think so because this controversy has blown up. So I've got myself a few screenshots here, courtesy of the Subverse. I will have all the links in the description of where I've gotten my information. So if you want to check those videos out, you can do so by all means. But it all started with Daryl Morey. Who is Daryl Morey? He is the general manager of the Houston Rockets. And he tweeted this out on October 4th. Fight for freedom, stand with Hong Kong. Seems very pretty simple, right? Seems very straightforward, especially since, he's an American and he believes in democracy and freedom of speech, and that's what the people in Hong Kong are fighting for right now. Well, sorry, the Chinese authorities did not like that, and he did delete the tweet very quickly, but that started a firestorm of rage coming from the likes of CCTV and the head of the Chinese government. CCTV is China Central TV, so that's pretty much the news agency run by the Chinese government. They have a studio in the main government building in Beijing. So whatever Xi Jinping says, they'll run a guy across the hall with a note, give it to the news reporter, and be like, "This just in, yada yada yada, communist bullshit, yada yada yada," something like that. But so anyway, he deleted this tweet very quickly, and he quickly brings out with this apology. And you can read it yourself, but I'm going to read it as well. I did not intend my tweet to cause any offense to Rocket fans and friends of mine in China. Friends of mine in China would probably be Yao Ming, because Yao Ming was on the Houston Rockets, and Yao Ming is the chairman of the CBA, the Chinese Basketball Association. So Yao probably called him up and said, "What the hell?" So let me continue. I was merely voicing one thought, based on one interpretation of one complicated event, and I have a lot of opportunity since that tweet to hear and consider other perspectives. And I wonder, you know what those other perspectives are, I wonder? The authoritarian censorship perspectives of the Chinese government. Because you can see how he's tiptoeing around it, saying, oh, it's just an interpretation of a complicated event. And yes, it is somewhat complicated, the protests in Hong Kong. But if you look at it, if you take a step back and take a look at it, it's pretty straightforward. They want their freedom. They want their autonomy. China doesn't want to give it to them. They want to put them under their thumb. So, freedom versus authoritarianism seems like a no-brainer there. But let me continue with his apology. I have always appreciated the significant support our Chinese fans and sponsors have provided, and would hope that those who are upset will know that offending or misunderstanding them was not my intention. My tweets are my own and in no way represent the Rockets of the NBA. So that was the second half of that, was saying, oh God, please do not pull out the money. We need that money. I'm sorry. So, Daryl, that's disgusting. As an American, you should be defending your freedom of speech. But I know you're a part of this giant cog, this giant machine, and you'll just get run over because you're the general manager. You're not the owner of the Rockets. Any more rocking of the boat than this? If he didn't apologize, I guarantee you he probably would have been fired. He probably would have lost his job the next day. He issued his apology 2 days later. If he didn't, I guarantee you October 7th he probably would have been fired. So, and the commissioner, actually the NBA commissioner, and I don't actually have the quote here, but I was watching a video about it. The NBA commissioner, Adam Silver, I believe his name is. Yes, Adam Silver. He actually defended Daryl's freedom of speech and said that, the NBA, that's our values are to, defend freedom of speech, and we agree with freedom of expression. But, and then he tries to, do that whole little gray area where it's just like when it comes to other places around the world like China, there can be consequences to those freedoms of speech, but ultimately he stands behind the principles of freedom of speech. So that's good on him. The Chinese didn't like that, though. Here we go. In response to that, the Chinese came out with this. This was the statement from CCTV, so China Central TV. We are strongly dissatisfied and we oppose Silver's claim to support Morey's right of free expression. I'm sorry, but where are they? Oh yeah, that's right, they're in America. No, they're not in communist China, okay? We believe that any speech that challenges national sovereignty and social stability is not within the scope of freedom of speech. So that means don't rock the boat. Sit down and shut up. The gall, the absolute gall of these authoritarian scumbags over there. And what's funny is, what's not funny is they know they can do these things because they know that they have the money in it to make these people bend like a pretzel. Because here's what happened was the CBA and not the CBA, but CCTV and the largest streaming service in China temporarily suspended all viewing of the NBA preseason. Temporarily, you see that? Because they know that it's only going to be a matter of time before the NBA, completely gives in. And I think they already have, because I've seen Twitter videos of people at the preseason games holding up signs which they're they're less blatant than stand for Hong Kong, but even those tacitly somewhat nuanced signs, they get security over there and tell them, give me that sign. so like can't say like Google Ushgars, or it's something about Chinese his historical significance and something shady that happened back there. A lot of things shady happened in China, especially when the communists came into power. But yeah, security walks over, grabs the people's signs, all right, and then they say enjoy the game. It's like, oh, okay, I get it. You don't get to express yourself. You're supposed to just sit here and just watch the game. Gotcha. Okay, no cheering either. Um, so it's really bad because like it's even gotten all the way down to the players because you have James Harden and completely apologizing, and you could tell that was he was just told what to say because he was like rubbing his head, doing like, yeah, we love China, man. We love the people in China. We love all our fans. We respect them there, and all that good stuff. He didn't. He just wants to play basketball. He doesn't want to have any of this controversy. He just wants to play basketball, but he knows that's where the money is. So, hey, they say jump, I say how high. Okay, that goes. Now let's move away from the NBA because the NBA is like the biggest splash about this. But Blizzard itself has gotten into a little hot water over this because they ended up banning one of their Hearthstone champions for displaying pro Hong Kong uh, 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 images, and he was actually donning a face mask and saying pro Hong Kong things during his post match interview, and they took his prize money away, and Blizzard issued an apology. But this here, what I'm showing you, is the response that the Chinese gave. So Blizzard gave their own response, but this is the Blizzard Chinese response. We are angered and disappointed at what happened at the event and do not condone it in any way, the Hearthstone event. We also highly object the spreading of personal political beliefs in this manner. What, freely? Oh, freely, okay. Effective immediately, we ban the contestant from events and terminated work with the broadcasters. Wow, harsh. We will always respect and defend the pride of our country. The pride of your country. I'm sorry. I gasped there so hard I coughed. China, you've got a cheek on you. The pride of your country? You have no pride? What kind of pride do you have when the legacy of your most famous leader is mass murder? How do you have pride for yourself or for your country when this is the reality here? And yes, I know, the Chinese people have been force-fed lies by the same government that this guy put in place. They have statues of him everywhere. He, in some way, shape, or form, through either imprisonment, execution, or famine, killed 65 million people in his quest for the socialist utopia of a Chinese megastate. Anybody in his way, he killed them. He killed off scholars and smart people. Okay, but he wants to get a utopia. How do you get a utopia? I don't know. Bang your head against the wall, get rid of the smart people. No. So in the early years, used famine, killed people off that way. Latter years, he used industrialization to grind people down through the forced labor camps, and it's disgusting. How the hell can American companies like Blizzard, the NBA, stand by and be okay and kowtow to a country that has murdered 65 million of their own people and still enslave people today? China has factories that have suicide nets around them, especially if they're built near a cliff. They got suicide nets around them to where if people snap and run out of the factory to kill themselves by running off the cliff, they get caught and saved, and then they get sent off to a freaking even a harsher labor camp where they get executed or something like that. That's China in the worst scenario. I mean, yeah, the tourists they go to the cleanse, they go to the Potemkin village areas that are China. I mean, you go into inland central China where the industrial zones are. Whoa. Don't even talk about that. I mean, don't go there because that's a no-no. The Chinese wanted to show you that they all are in harmony, working hard together, but no, no, no. They have forced labor. They grind people down emotionally, physically. It's disgusting. It's all for the glory of China. No, the glory of the people in power. That is it right there. So you have American companies ignoring all this just so they can make all this money. And let me slide into the Hong Kong protests here because, case in point, Vans, which is another American company, you're allowed to put in custom designs, and they'll manufacture them for you. Somebody put in a design that shows the Hong Kong protesters in their masks and everything, and it was banned because of the cultural sensitivities towards China. It's disgusting. And here's more that I want to get into here. They have laws. They have laws that they just passed in China banning. Well, I mean, in Hong Kong and in the rest of China, though, you're not allowed to wear completely covered masks anymore. And in Hong Kong, they passed an emergency law due to these protests. But all this has done has ramped up the protests even more. But I'm going to get into the social credit score and how this is case in point for the people in Hong Kong and why they're fighting for their freedom. China has now passed a facial recognition law saying that citizens, if they want to access the internet, need to get their faces scanned and be put into the credit system. All this means is that you're now in the database wherever you go, and they have 626 million cameras that will track wherever a person is, and within a few seconds we'll be able to determine who that person is because, hey, you've already been scanned into the database because, hey, everybody uses the internet. Even Chinese people use the internet. So you can see how China is in the open becoming exactly what we have seen in books like 1984 or movies like Equilibrium or Illyrium or something like that. It's these completely like police state, like authoritarian government run cities where it's all bland. Everybody's just trudging along, like just go to work, go home. Cops with machine guns on every corner. That's what's going to happen. I mean, and you have like Big Brother screens on the walls everywhere, looking at you wherever you are. And this is out in the open. And American companies are still willing to work with this. They're still willing to be okay with this, to ban people, to say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend." When the Chinese people have committed some of the worst offenses and human atrocities in the history of mankind. So somebody please square that circle for me. I'd really like to understand. Oh, and you know what? Last tidbit for the road. Apple removes police tracking apps used in Hong Kong protests from its App Store. Now, gee, I wonder why. Apparently, to Chinese authorities and to the Chinese government, apps like this are poisonous to social stability. So people can avoid the authoritarian jackboot the jackboot goose stepping. What do you call them? Stormtroopers. I'm sorry, stormtroopers from finding them and I guess making sure they're not committing any wrong. I guess. See, and Apple, an American company, says, okay, yeah, we'll just remove it because China said so. Wait, so are you or are you not for freedom of speech? No, you're for where the money is. And remember, everybody, that's the key. So, Trey Parker, Matt Stone, they capped it all off with a episode last night of South Park where Towley, who has been working with Randy, finally pressured Randy into realizing the stupidity of trying to work with China and told him to say the best thing possible. And that is, fuck the Chinese government. And with that, I will end this video. And remember, I'll have all the links to all the videos that I had screenshots for. And check me out on the relative social medias. I'll have those linked below as well. So, again, I will see you guys later. This is the Swamp Cleaner. Have a good one.